born in the nuclear USA. Hi, Kevin Blanch. Everybody's been wondering how I'm doing. I'm going to go off on a ramble and a rant from hell right here. You know, people ask me, Kevin, you ever get your book done? My book was all done right when I got sick. Got going through it proofing. I don't know if you ever proofed your own book. My God, what a freaking job. But anyway, you know, you try to find rhyme or reason why this happened to me and why this all evolved the way it did. Maybe I had another chapter to write. Boy, did I. Boy, have I learned. Everybody's asked me. I had my PET scan on Thursday, 5-month point, where they fill you up for the flu and they can read every cancer cell in your body. Friday, getting the results. Partially collapsed right lung, fluid on the heart, several different issues. Looks at right now, oh, you're doing good. Before he can get it out of his mouth, you know, I know what you're going to say. Look around. I knew, you know, that's what I told him. You're going to say, look around. I have looked around. I've been knee deep, freaking chest deep, nose deep in this freaking pain and suffering since October 13th. And I want to address a couple things. Number one, my daughter started a donation page for me. I want to give you a little bit of background about me, whatnot. Like I said, I pour into all these subject matter in detail in my book, but I had another chapter, and boy, have I learned a freaking valuable lesson about the Mormons, about the church, about assholes in this freaking community. Look, that big house you see on my Facebook page, I built that house with cash when I was a derivative trader on Wall Street. You ought to see that house now. What a piece of art. I had a mosaic in the entryway. It took me 15 hours. You guys know I'm a plasterer, I'm an artist. They tore it out. There was a piece of stained glass in there, blue herons, which are the native bird here, which these morons have no fucking clue. They tore it out. It's a content. We got them hard. They brought horses out in and ate the bark up the trees that killed it. Well, let me tell you the truth about Mormons. Somebody says, Kevin, you freaking go off on this rant, they might kick you out. Ooh, kick me out. Here's the way the fucking Mormons work in this state. Boy, have I learned. And don't make no mistake about this. I'm in LDS hospital. They don't own it. They have nothing to fucking do with it. Nothing. I pour into details in my book on this. Has this disease completely wiped me out financially? Yeah. Was I doing good economic? You people that watch my videos from day one started out as financial. Look at you guys know what I did the last 2 years, the money that I parlayed in the market. You guys know. IBM. Freaking Apple. My call on Apple. I made one of the greatest financial calls of my lifetime in August on Apple. Went crazy. I parlayed a small sum of money up into $300,000. When I got sick, the day I thought I was in great financial shape. The day I got sick, this is the way this country works. You want to talk insurance? I was heavily insured till 2005. Paid in millions, literally millions. My daughter and her friends and their generation, they know my path, as I was extremely huge stuck on pie. Huge, make gods and gods of money, played in millions in insurance. I fell off a roof in 2005, broke my back. That's where that scar comes from, extremely critical. I'm uninsurable, absolutely 100% uninsurable. You think you're gonna walk, I did my homework when I got sick. That's the thing that saved my life, as I ran regression on statistical probabilities. They had me diagnosed wrong. If it wouldn't have been for the internet, I'd be dead. I dug in. I walk in. You think I researched the top AML units in the country? I knew who they were. I was on the phone every day with the Mayo Clinic. I was on every phone with the Huntsman, ready to go into the Huntsman. And then I found out about this magnificent, incredible freaking bone marrow transplant center right here in our backyard. Did I get lucky that way? Yeah. You think you just walk in these places? You think, oh, here, I got no insurance, or even if I do have insurance. You think you walk in? Oh, no. I sold every fucking asset I owned. I unloaded my entire fucking portfolio. Unloaded, and I wrote a fucking check. Am I wiped out? Fuck yeah, to the fucking penny. Go 5 months without a fucking income. Go, these are $1 million treatments. Verbatim, everybody in there. I know guys in there. I have a friend in there, a millionaire contractor. His wife is dying from this disease, been battling it for 2.5 years. Totaled. You're done. I don't give a... The insured, totaled. You're done. Your insurance will not pay for all this. These are $1 million treatments. Am I wiped out? I'm destroyed. Physically, mentally, financially, economically, fucking wiped out. Everybody is. You think you're secure in this fucking country? I love all you Ayn Rand motherfuckers. Every one of you out there. As you know, she and her husband go on public assistance at the end of it. Both on Medicaid. Both, you know your statistical probability of having a catastrophic cancerous disease that you cannot pay for, or as a female, your odds are better than 50-50. As a male, your odds are 40%. And that's without the increase of cancer, which we all know it is. So you think you're insured? 99% of all insurances here, they're not going to pay $1 million. You're going to there's no way you can handle it. So you're fucked. We're all fucked. Every one of us is fucked. And let me tell you about the social safety net here. I was denied disability. Boy, did I get a fucking lesson on this. You know how much money I have paid into that? I've been in the workforce since 1976. I have paid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Boy, did I get a fucking wake-up call. Do you know they only go back in your last 5? You ought to read the letter they sent me. It's the most rude, ignorant fucking thing Here I am, an AML patient. The survival rate on this is less than 30%. They know this, and they write me a letter like that. And to the fucking Mormons, let me tell you fucking lying, phony fuckers here. They count me. I left the Mormon church 40. They like to use this for their number. You can't get rid of the fuckers. You cannot get rid of the fuckers at your door until you get sick. My friend, we grew up in this place, and I am Abraham Hunsaker, one of the most famous Mormons in America. My grandpa was Abraham Hunsaker. I really would be Abraham Hunsaker the 7th. My grandma was freaking Ike Potter's last living grandchild. I come from the most infamous fucking Mormon bloodlines you could ever see. I live on the same sacred ground of the very first piece of purple in the entire county. First man buried in the cemetery over there's my great-great-grandpa. Fucking, I live right on the said ground. Let me tell you about these corporate welfare scum Mormons out there. These guys are, and they're teabaggers. They're dairy farmer, corporate wealth, all of them, including the so-called bishopric out there. They count me. As I got sick, and they say, oh, we have the greatest welfare system in the world. That is a fucking blatant lie. Here's what they do. They go to the homeless, they go to the distraught, they go to people all over the world, and they dangle that fucking welfare in front of them like a carrot. If you join. It's like the movie star who adopts the freaking child in Africa. When half the money they could have spent on that same child would have reunited the mother with the child. Went right under the feet. Go to downtown LA. Go to downtown LA and see how many fucking homeless people are there. That's the Mormons. Somebody says, oh, Kev, you'll get kicked out. Who? Get kicked out from fairy tale fucking land? They are not. Their welfare system is a fucking pathetic fucking lying joke. I've been sick since they count me as a Mormon. I come from a very fucking famous fucking Mormon, the very first lifelong Mormons out there. Everybody says, Kev, why don't you fucking leave? I'm like, fuck you, why don't you fucking leave? Take a look around. It's like, I know all these secret spots in northern Utah. I'm an environment guy. This is so magnificently beautiful. It's like the Spiral Jetty. Spiral Jetty isn't far from where we live. None of these fucking Mormons even know what it is. You know, even Smithson himself, I don't think, believed that in the fall, a group of us, you people, they watch my videos, they know who I'm talking to. We go out there in the fall. The lake turns bright, bright red. The salt white against that blue sky when it's clear as crystal. Even I don't think Smithson intended for it. It's stunning. It is breathtaking. Nobody knows it's there. It's like yesterday, right up the road here. Sandhill cranes are 5 foot tall. They nest right up here on the Weber and Hennifer. Nobody even knows. Right along the free, they don't even know. Here's these prehistoric 5-foot birds in the top of these treeless cottonwood trees. Up there in these giant freaking nests, it's one of the most magnificent sights. These fucks have no, they're busy chasing their fucking tail. Not one single fucking Mormon has even come and talked to me. Not fucking my neighbors, not my own family, not fucking none of them. You know, in the old days, my friend come over. He and I were the only 2 boys that were raised out in that community. It was the boonies. 2 boys, 9 girls. We both still live out there. We're both 6th generation. I just recently restored his house before I got sick. He come over and he says, boy, and this is a churchgoer. He says, boy, Kev, these sure aren't the Christians that raised us. I says, fuck no, they're fake, phony motherfuckers. Their welfare system, and you're going to hear Romney speak of, they're phony motherfuckers. Phony. Phonier than fuck. Help their own? Total fucking lie. They do not help anyone. They're all rich. They're all poor. They're bankrupt in fucking their soul. They're bankrupt in knowledge. They're fucking ignorant. And the motherfuckers are like this. They're living in some big fake styrofoam, fake fucking rock, mold infested piece of shit fucking house. All they're doing is competing with their neighbors. They're fucking $600,000 to the fucking bad. When their house were, that's what they are. So don't fucking be fooled. Fuck every fucking one of them. If they came to me, I'd throw them off my fucking property, the fake, phony pieces of fucking shit. And they call themselves Christians. Make no mistake it. Mormon theology, and I could quote it up and side down. I read the Book of Mormon when I was a little kid before I fucking could fucking, you know, you'd ask you the prayer. That's how they pounded this into our fucking throats. Half of all Mormon kids who grew up in a Mormon city leave. The Mormons still count them as their number because they want to use you for that fucking pad, that number. But when it comes time, God forbid you get fucking sick. You're not one of them. You're one of them as long as they need you. When you need them, you're not one of them. Fuck them. They're fake, phony motherfuckers. Every fucking one of them in this community. They can kiss my fucking ass. I don't want your fucking money. You know, it's like the lower, this younger generation. As the great book or article got written in Time magazine, the second greatest generation. As one of the most famous writers in this country comes into my sight. As I had just finished my PhD in socioeconomics, it poured into the subject matter, and poured into this fucking data. And I could evaluate and I could know financially homeless versus working class. You're better off being homeless. You honestly are off being homeless in this fucking country. You're all one step away from fucking being totaled out financially, every one of you. Every fucking last one of you. And as far, like I said, as the social safety net, they denied me. It's a fucking joke. It is a fucking joke. The whole system. Let me give you some background. I had some asshole come to me. Oh, you're not a fucking non-patriot. These corporate welfare, they call them temperback, who they're all dairy farmers out where they live, and they suck up tens of millions of dollars in corporate welfare. They're fucking so abstract from Christianity. As Mormon religion is based on the story of Jesus Christ. They say they are. They say they are. They're no more Christians than I'm a fucking neurosurgeon. As these fucking fake, fucking radical, fucking military-industrial complex, one of them called me a non-patriot. Let me give you some background. Where I grew up, most motherfuckers don't even have a clue. My father, who looked just like Elvis Presley with muscles, and that's no bullshit. He had this incredible wit, these beautiful one-liners. Go off, you know me and all my one-liners, he fucking had me blown away that way. He was genius. You know, I say cordial conversations are dangerous, passionate telling arguments get results. This is not commentary, this is a documentary. I go over, you know, Mark McGuire swinging Albert Bell's bat on Bow Cove. You know, I got dozens and dozens of them. You guys know that, they've been watching me. He says to me, you non-patriot fuck. My dad, drafted by the way, drafted Marine, by the same draft dodging motherfuckers. They were draft dodgers that drafted him. And I'll tell you this story, it's in my book in detail. Nuked to death in the Nevada test site. Killed. Most people grew up because he was Semper Fi to his death, because he was a true old Marine. Magnificent. That's why I love the Marines. I have so much respect for him. I've never blamed the Marines. I blame politicians for marching him into the desert and killing him. The June McCarthy far right. My other uncle, who raised me, a year younger, the colonel, turned down a contract in the NFL to go into freaking Nam as a fighter pilot. One of the most decorated pilots in the history of this fucking, he's still alive. In the history, flew with the Thunderbird, flew the Blackbird. Incredible man, shot down fucking one time, got away. The oldest boy snuck out of the house at 17 fucking years old. When there were 7 boys right there where I live. My grandma used to tell this story, 7 men. You could have got out, people don't know this, you could have got out of Vietnam if you had a deferment to stay on the farm. My grandpa says he's staying. My grandma's like, the fuck he is. Both my brothers are over there right now. And she, you know, they were first generation and second generation immigrants from Denmark and Switzerland. She says, I'll be damned if any son of mine stands here and sits here. Boy, they're killing our, right, that piece of shit Hitler is killing our relatives over there. He stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. Fought in these are the men that fucking raised me. My son-in-law is on his 4th fucking tour over there right now, so you can go fuck yourself. And the same corporate welfare asshole who call themselves Christians out there, their grandfathers all dodged the draft. And they ended up drafting my father. He was new, and they were paid. So fuck you, the fuckers that say that to me. You know, am I angry about this disease? Yeah. Am I sick? I'm very fucking sick. Very, very sick. Am I wiped out? Am I fucking bankrupt? Fucking financial? Yep. Done. You know, wiped out. That big, beautiful fucking house of mine that you see on my Facebook. These morons fucking tore it apart. tore the fucking mosaic because they don't even know what a mosaic is. They have no clue what the fucking is. These fuckers are so art illiterate, hairsprayed, phony fucking Mormon fucks. Every one of them, everybody says, why don't you leave? Fuck you, why don't you fucking leave? This beautiful, magnificent fucking piece of earth does not belong to you phony fuckers. As you exploit it for your fucking gain. You exploit yourself. Well, our book's fucking done. You know, like I said, maybe this happened for a reason. Maybe I had another chapter to write. Maybe I did. But when you hear the Mormons say they have this incredible welfare system, it's a fucking lie. They do not take care of their own. They wave carrots in front of the homeless, the distraught, the drug addict, the down and out. Oh, come join. We'll give you some food. We'll pay your fucking rent. Join up. We need numbers. They're not the Christians that raised me. I can tell you that. They are not the Christians that raised me. My grandparents, like I said, Abraham Hunsaker the V, my grandpa. I would be Abraham Hunsaker the VII if he didn't have all girls. He would roll over in his fucking grave. Kevin Blanch, like I said, the doctor said, collapsed partial right lung, fluid around the freaking heart, but I'm doing good. Back in the hospital today for more chemo. And make no mistake, LDS Hospital, that name on it, Mormons don't own that fucking hospital. Not why I own it. Did I write the check to get in there? Yeah, I fucking wrote. I gave them every single fucking penny I had. Every penny. I was doing so good. You know, I appreciate all you guys' love and support. Your cards kept me alive. And they sure were none of you fake fucking Mormons around here. Not one card from one of these fuckers. My own relatives, my own fucking people. Because they're fake fucking Christians. I got it from real fucking people with real souls and real hard living. And another thing, the fucking Mormons, this state does not belong to you. This environment does not belong to you. And your fake fucking theology. Mitt Romney's a phony motherfucker. He gonna win. He got a fucking shot. He got a better fucking shot of fucking flying, flapping his arms to the moon. Oh yeah, they get their own planet. Oh, Kev, they're gonna kick you out. Good, kick me the fuck out. You know, I appreciate all your love and support, and thank God for my beautiful, incredible fucking daughter. She's been by my side every step of the way. Kevin Blanch, I love you guys.